Hi there everyone, my name's Richard Tail. I'm one of the leaders of Mickfield Evangelical Church, and we've been producing these videos for the whole church family here in Mickfield in Suffolk, but also just for all sorts of people who are tuning in and watching the videos through the WhatsApp groups, on YouTube, on the website, Facebook and Instagram. And it's great that so many people are engaging with this stuff. And this week we're looking at 5 reasons to dismiss Christianity, and today the reason is this: Christianity just holds us back. It might be right or wrong, true, whatever, that's irrelevant. It just holds us back. It stops us making progress. And I want to tell you the very naughty story that lies behind this, and it goes something like this. In the ancient world, the Greeks, the Romans, it was great and all sorts of good things were happening. And a bit later on with the rise of Islam as well, there was loads of great advances in medicine and technology, and society was just good, and there were loads of good things. You know, what have the Romans ever done for us? Well, actually, quite a lot of things. But then all of a sudden Christianity comes along, and at first it's all right, it's okay, it's a little hodgepodge bunch of people. But then over time Christianity took over, and basically the Christian faith plunged us into 1,000 years of darkness, the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages. But don't worry, because after that, after the years of mumbo jumbo and superstition and religion and cultural darkness and all the loss of the ancient world and all of that, after that came the Renaissance, and then the Reformation, and then thankfully the Enlightenment, where we shook off all of that religious nonsense and all that Christianity and faith stuff, and we got hold of facts and science and reason. And now if we just stick with that and go forward with that into our secular atheistic future, we'll be a lot better off. Light after darkness. That's the story. And the story has got as many holes in it as the colander that I just used to drain the pasta. Let me give you just some of the holes in this story. Now, of course, the ancient world was great, and some good stuff happened, of course. There were loads of good advances in society, but there are also some pretty awful things that happened as well, and you only need to read horrible histories or something like that to pick up the rotten Romans and some of the things that they invented, not least crucifixion. But after that, we're told that Christianity plunged us into 1,000 years of darkness. Now, the irony is that at the very point that we're told that this happened, the Christian faith actually began to give us education, learning. The monasteries, the texts, the advances in development towards a scientific culture, so many other advances in technology and society at that time. The idea that the Christians got rid of all the ancient world has been challenged recently by a couple of historians who say, look, actually the monks preserved the learning of the ancient world so that we didn't lose what could have been lost. This whole story, it's actually stealing from the Christian story, this idea of after darkness light. Well, that's a biblical imagery, and this idea of a linear history and a progress towards a greater end. That's stealing from a Christian understanding of history as well. It's stealing from the way that the Protestant Reformation explained history as well. So it borrows a lot from a Christian worldview. It also pits faith against facts. It says, look, we've got rid of faith and now we've got facts. Well, we'd want to challenge that and say, no, our faith is based on facts. It pits science against Christianity and says we've got rid of Christianity and now we've got science. We want to say, well, we like science. We think that Christian ideas and Christian theology produce the scientific culture, and many of the early scientists were Christian believers, and we love science. Science is a really good thing. So there are holes in the story. And finally, I'd want to pose a couple of questions about this whole thing. I'd like to say, has secularism really done us that much good? Has it brought the great good that Christianity has brought to Western society? And can the atheistic dictatorships of the 20th century really be classed as progress, as an improvement on the rest of history? I would argue that Christianity hasn't held us back. It's propelled us forward, and it's propelled us forward against the odds.